Hey, what's going on guys? Nick here with another Marvel update, this time talking about a very pivotal change to the Ancient Ones scene in Avengers Endgame. So obviously if you have seen Endgame, you'll know that the Ancient One does have a pretty big scene in which she talks to the Hulk during the Battle of New York. Basically it's all kind of revolving around the Infinity Stones and what happens if you remove one from their timeline, and the idea of kind of branched timelines and the multiverse and things like that, but apparently the scene wasn't always revolving around that. During a recent interview, Tilda Swinton revealed some new details about the cameo and how it all came together, and how she was asked to come back for reshoots even after they had shot the scene. She said, quote, "What was a real surprise, we shot it one summer day, and then over a year later I went back to reshoot it because a couple of lines had been changed, a couple plot points had been changed, and there was a tweaking of my costume. It was all about being very, very important, to show what would happen if the stone was removed from her timeline, the information that the Ancient One holds about the nature of the stones, that they have to be put back." So obviously them actually inserting new dialogue about the idea of the multiverse and the different timelines and how rupturing the timelines could happen if you remove the Infinity Stones is actually pretty interesting, and it makes sense because they had planned out Avengers Infinity War and Endgame several years in advance, and things changed throughout the process, throughout editing these films together and stuff. But it is kind of interesting that Marvel went back and actually asked her to reshoot stuff to add some new lines, and because putting more emphasis on the Marvel multiverse and the idea of new timelines could suggest that Marvel wanted to really clarify how time travel worked in this instance, or maybe it's because they wanted to have an explanation for upcoming content in the MCU, like we had previously speculated about the Loki TV series that's coming to Disney+, because basically the Russo brothers have continuously said that Loki made a new timeline when he stole the Tesseract in 2012. That Cap couldn't change that because he would have had to go back to the exact moment that Loki stole it, but it probably would have created some new problems. So what are your guys' thoughts on this change? Marvel did reshoot it to add that big line about how important it was to put the stones back. Should they get removed, they will create a whole multiverse of events. For more updates on Avengers Endgame and everything at Marvel and pop culture, be sure to subscribe to HN Entertainment.